Hey, everybody, this is Susan Martin from Bauer Center for the Arts, and you're listening to Behind the Bauer. This show offers inspiring conversations, a fresh look at arts in our community, provides spotlights on artists, performers, collaborative partners, educators, organizations, and much more. And we want to take this opportunity to celebrate the universal expression of human experiences through arts, culture, and our community. Today, I'm very excited because we're going to be talking with Little Otter Flower Farm, a family-owned and operated flower farm here in Bedford, which focuses on bringing beauty and joy to others in the community through their beautiful arrangements, while also providing a business for their son Max and others with autism to learn marketable skills and integrate into the business community. So today we're going to discuss everything there is to know about the farm, their random acts of kindness, and much more. Bauer Center for the Arts is extremely fortunate to be a weekly recipient of beautiful flowers, a wonderful arrangement as a part of the Random Acts of Kindness, and we're very thrilled. We have lots of guests that come in and are just so complimentary of the beautiful arrangements. And joining me today are Max and Jen with Little Otter Flower Farm. So hello, welcome, Max.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Good. We're really happy and excited to have you. Can you introduce yourself a little bit to the listeners on the podcast? Tell them who you are and, why you're involved with the farm. What do you do there?
Hi, my name is Max Legassi from the Little Otter Flower Farm. I started the Little Otter Flower Farm in the spring of 2020 to help people with autism, develop job skills, and use these job skills to find employment around the community. Unfortunately, the unemployment rate among people with autism is about 85%. In this job, we have a motto called Grow Flowers, People, and Community, which means we grow flowers to help people with autism use their job skills to look for jobs around the community.
That's awesome. And how many other friends or individuals have worked with you at the farm over the years since you started the farm? Do you know?
I know 2 of them have successfully got jobs. Maya
Yes.
Ishmael at Southern States and Justin Sacra at Christmas Coffee and Custard.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And there were other unsuccessful ones, which I got a little stressed about.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure they learned some great skills while they were there with you.
They certainly have.
Yes, wonderful. So can you tell me or tell our listeners a little bit about, what prompted, I know your family relocated here to open the farm. Can you explain a little bit about that, where you came from and why you came to Bedford to do the flower farm?
I was originally living in Montclair, New Jersey, and we were trying to look for a nice piece of summerland. And we found Bedford on the map when we were still living in Montclair, New Jersey. And we looked for property around Southwest Virginia and found one right on Forest Road near the town line on one cold day in December 2017.
Wow. Yeah. And so was it something where you all just kind of picked it out on a map, or did you come and visit it first, or how did you decide to pick that location for your farm?
Because it's just nice and close to the town line.
Yeah.
We did find Bedford from the website. And, shout out to Nicole and everybody at the Bedford Welcome Center. We literally found Bedford on the website and said, hey, look at this cute little town. And we came down to visit the winter of 2017 and just fell in love with the place.
That's awesome.
The people,
Right.
We met so many wonderful people and it was so welcoming. And then we found just this fabulous piece of land bordering the Little Otter River.
Well, we're glad you did. We're so happy to have you. So, Max, tell me a little bit about your typical day on the farm. What is some of the things that you do?
I usually, in the summer, make subscription and random acts of kindness arrangements. And for the market, I do a lot of my signature rides of color, which I have a theory of putting different colors of different flowers in different places of the arrangement.
Yep.
On both sides.
Okay. And then when you're actually working the farm, is it hard work?
It is very hard work, and I sometimes have to take time and not rush.
Right. What are some of the things that you all do actually on the farm with preparing the ground? Are there anything specific that you all do
I sometimes fix patch with cardboard and wood chips,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes I have to weed and re-cardboard some paths.
Okay. And is this for the work that you have to do, is this a year-round job? Is there
It's a
lots?
year-round job
Mhm.
with different things to do around, but I usually have a little break in mostly the month of December.
So you get 1 month off and then
1 month off, like December into just New Year's Day.
Right.
Believe it or not, we start seeds in our passive solar greenhouse the week of Christmas.
Wow.
So it's not even the whole month.
Right.
We really thought when we started this,
It's
we
just going to
weren't-
be the
Right.
warmer months that
Yeah.
it'll be.
but there is actually a ton of work to do in the winter, from dividing dahlia tubers, tons and tons of cleaning, and then
And-
the seeds start.
Uh-huh.
And planning and reporting.
And we do a lot of planning. Max has taken over all of the bookkeeping for the farm, all the financial records and all the flower records. So he spends a lot of time with the computer
Right.
in the winter months.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really awesome. So tell a little bit about, for the listeners that may not be aware of the random acts of kindness, talk a little bit about that and how that works.
A random act of kindness of flowers is a arrangement of flowers, usually in my riot of color form,
Mhm.
delivered to a person or an organization anywhere in Bedford County.
Mm-hmm.
It can be anywhere in the county, not just a town, like in Forest and Manita, for example.
Right. And how does an individual go about ordering a random act?
We do it for $10 at the market and $15 online at the Little Otter Flower Farm website.
Okay. And then they provide you with the information as to where they want it delivered.
Yes, and we also provide a phone number if I have to call someone who's living at a residence around the county.
Right. And so how often do you do that? You do it once a week?
Usually once a week, and I then make the arrangement, and I ride with someone, usually my parents, either my parents, sometimes with Ellen Dean, and sometimes with my Ishmael.
Okay. And I think you all also do subscriptions where people, which is what the Bauer Center was generously donated by one of our board members for us to receive a subscription. Tell a little bit about what a subscription is and how someone can sign up for that.
A subscription is like 8 weeks of flowers for the season, which is worth $100 total for the individuals. And we usually pick them up Tuesdays at the well in bunches and sometimes arrangements.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I also do corporate subscriptions on 2 days, Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay. All right. And about
Cedar Oak, and with 2 of them every other week, Peaksview and Goose Creek.
Okay. And how long does a subscription typically last?
It typically lasts about 8 to 10 weeks per season.
Okay.
We have a full season subscription this
Mhm.
year that goes from whenever we first have flowers in
Until
March
you don't?
until in frost. And then we have a summer subscription that's 8 weeks, and then a last blooms of fall subscription that is at least 8 weeks. But
Right.
one of the things we definitely learned being farmers
Right.
is it's all about the weather.
Uh-huh.
So-
Absolutely. Yeah. And so if there is an organization or an individual out there that wants to order, say, centerpieces for an event, is that something that you all do as well?
Sometimes I've been doing flowers for weddings and events starting this year.
Okay. And
even earlier this year, I set a new record high of 136 arrangements for 4 straight events.
wow, that's amazing. That's a lot of work.
That was all in 10 days.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes, saying that new record high was an achievement for me.
Yeah, that's great. Tell us a little bit about the types of flowers that you grow on the farm.
We grow more than 40 different types of flowers, among of them which I like are zinnias, lisianthus, snapdragons, and sunflowers.
Mhm.
And it depends on their life cycle.
Right. And, I know that you do a wonderful job in putting the bouquets together. And like you said, your riots of color.
Yes, I was trying to make each flower shine lately.
Right. And so, as you know, where do you get your creativity from? What kind of experiences have you had, or what kind of experience? How did you learn to make the bouquets?
Once last year had a tutorial with Brian Swan, who was a wedding designer based in the DC metro area, which I've been trying to follow lately.
Okay. And do you have other hobbies or other activities?
I like going to the gym every day.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I like going to market, and I like when something fun goes on around the town, which I can look forward to.
Right, right. Yep. Is there any other forms of art that you have experienced or done in the past? I know that when you first moved here, you did a little bit of clay
I don't.
at Bauer Center.
Yes, for just 4 straight weeks, I've sometimes like mailed colored pictures all over the place by USPS,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm excited to make bracelets. And I might even consider doing 2 things in one envelope with the bracelet and picture someday.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
They're having a special activity with Erica from the Stitch Witches coming to the autism social group to make bracelets.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about what is your favorite part of what you do? What is your most favorite thing?
One of them is going to market every Saturday.
Yes. You're really great with meeting with folks. I've been to the market.
Yes,
and
I've seen you one holiday market initially.
And so do you really like talking with your customers?
Yes. Even people that I've been venerable with.
Yeah. Is there anything specific, and let's say like when you're working on the farm or working the flowers, is there anything you just don't like to do at all?
I don't like to weed, tarp. And because weeding takes some time and moving tarp is heavy.
Right. Yeah, I can.
And
agree
also,
with that.
Harvesting is one of the toughest parts of when I have to arrange.
Right. But then you get to do the arranging, which is the fun part.
Yes, but I get worried about time pressure always.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can imagine that there is a lot of pressure in getting the things harvested and then in creating after that. Yes.
One of the hardest things about harvesting is we actually harvest all of our flowers before the sun comes up.
Right.
And that's what gets them to last longer. So in the heat of the summer, that means 4:30, 4:45 in the morning.
Yes, that can make for a long day.
You know, as folks know, around here, sometimes it's hot.
Right.
By 7:30.
Right, yeah. And especially hot this summer.
Yeah. So harvesting certainly is challenging.
Yeah.
I would say the other thing that is really challenging is dealing with the frost cloth in the winter.
Yeah.
Because we have really, really heavy winds.
And I know I have seen too that you all have to deal with the deer critters that come in and eat the flowers.
And yes, we also built 2 deer fences so far.
Mm-hmm.
And we have hunters come to our property, and Austin and a few friends of his.
Right. So have those helped? Have the fences helped?
The fences
so
have
far,
helped.
So good?
And sometimes hunting with Austin and some of his friends helped.
Kind of thins that out.
So far, so good for the deer fences.
Right. Now, I know you all, I think, and I don't know the appropriate word, but you do some unique things to fertilize your flowers. Can you tell us a little bit about?
I do weed juice, which is weeds mixed in with non-chlorinated rainwater. Because chlorine is bad for the plants.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, we practice what's called regenerative agriculture. So that's sort of beyond organic. We don't purchase any off-farm amendments except for fish emulsion because we don't have a good supply of seaweed and fish here in southwestern Virginia. But other than that, we will make our own indigenous microorganisms using leaf mold from the forest that surrounds our fields. We will brew our own lactic acid bacteria using rice water and milk. As Max mentioned, we make a lot of weed juice because weeds are actually really good at getting scarce nutrients in the soil. So when we weed a row, we'll put those weeds into a 5-gallon bucket with rainwater and then put that water right back on that row because it's giving the soil exactly what the weeds say that the soil needs.
Right. And I understand, and I don't know if you still do this, I used to see you picking up coffee grounds at the coffee shop. Is that something that you still use as well?
Yes, it helps with nitrogen in the plants when it's needed.
Okay.
Yep. Shout out to Joe Beans. We get a 5-gallon bucket of coffee grounds several times a week from Joe Beans.
Yeah, that's great.
And nitrogen is very essential to the plants.
That's wonderful.
And then the other thing we use a lot of is cardboard.
Right.
So
and I know you're always putting out that you can always use cardboard. Is that something that you all can still use?
Well, actually, we don't take cardboard in the summer because we just don't have enough time to use it.
Right.
And it piles up and attracts critters. But in September, when we do more infrastructure work and start to get ready for the winter, we'll take more cardboard. We put cardboard on all of our paths and all of our growing rows, and it retains the moisture. It feeds the worms, and it keeps some of the weeds out.
Yeah.
Not all the weeds.
Not all of them. I've used it as well in some mulch beds and planted flowers.
Yeah.
I get that.
Nothing will keep all the weeds out.
Right. Yeah. Except the weeding, which Max doesn't like to do.
I'm not sure anybody actually, that's not true. I actually sort of enjoy weeding because there's a lot of instant gratification with weeding. And if,
And I do all the mulching these days now.
Mm-hmm. Great. So before we wrap up, is there anything else, Max, that you would like to share with the listeners? Anything that we may not have covered?
I like doing random acts of kindness of flowers overall.
Yeah.
And it gives good communication with the people around Bedford County.
Right. Can you share with our listeners what your all's website address is so that folks
It's
can
at littleotterflowerfarm.com, and our Instagram handle and Facebook handles are at Little Otter Flowers.
Great. So if you're interested in learning more about the farm and the Random Act of Kindness, you can visit the website and also visit their social media.
Great. And if I could just give a quick shout out to the people of Bedford County, because we just could not have been welcomed more warmly coming down here from New Jersey, and we love it here so much. And for all of the other organizations and everybody giving us an opportunity to show the world what people with autism are capable of doing. So thank you, Susan, for having us.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been wonderful to talk to you guys. I enjoy seeing you just about every week as you're delivering our flowers. And we're just so fortunate at Bower Center that we get to look at them and enjoy them, and our guests get to come in and look at and enjoy them as well. So as I'm wrapping things up here on Behind the Bower, I just want to remind all our listeners that our fall classes and workshops for youth and adults are now registering. So I encourage everyone to check out our website. And we've got some new classes, including a beginner mountain dulcimer class that's going to be coming up. Tickets are also on sale for our August concerts that include Nightcap and an American folk rock artist, Dana Cooper. And it's starting to really pour out there outside now. If you're listening to us, we're getting ready to have a little storm here. And as a reminder, if any of our listeners want to get more involved at Bower Center, they can volunteer their time. And we have so many volunteer opportunities where you can work with our youth and our programming with individuals with disabilities. You can greet the public at one of our concerts or events, share your expertise in the arts, or just come and be involved in some of our committees that helps with the development of our programming at Bower Center. So check all that out at bowercenter.org. And once again, I want to thank Max and Jen for joining me today, and you've been listening to Behind the Bower.